Today, on Be Something Wonderful, I manifested my dream life in 24 hours. I am your host, Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Big video for you today. It's really about two of you, two creators that created their dream life. One of you in 24 hours, and the other one, it just unfolded over the year. I want to talk about both of these because there was a question, I think it came up on the channel or in Facebook. Is there any evidence or proof that this stuff works? Right? Another one of you, right? Another doubter out there saying, is there any evidence or proof? But remember, you're creating the reality of looking for evidence, but never finding it, of looking for proof and never finding it. You are reality. You're creating your entire life experience. So as you insist that there's no evidence and no proof, that's the life and reality that you create. I want to talk about this. So let's start with this particular creator. She loves photography, right? Telling stories. Her day job, she felt, was holding her back. She wanted to live and just travel more. Just live and travel more. And then she just decided, you know what? I'm not waiting anymore. From the teaching, she mentioned a few specific videos that she liked, but I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not seeking validation of my dream or my dream life from out there. Hear the power here, right? And so what she started to do is plan for 2025 weekend trips, right? Driving and flying and taking pictures, all sorts of trips where she would take pictures and write about it, right? For her own blog, for her own life. She said, then it happened. In 24 hours of making this decision and actually sitting down and starting to plan trips, she was floored. She got it at the same time. I kind of knew it. She said she was offered her job to go on trips. Hear this: to take photos and write about it, reviewing the particular sites or the trips for these people. This is powerful. And she said even her specific person now is going to join her on some of these trips, all in 24 hours from just planning those trips. Then there was another creator. So this is powerful, right? And we're going to talk about the metaphysics behind this today. And then another powerful creator I received an email from. She said it unfolded over 2024. She said we talked in January, earlier this year. So this is what she said. We had a session back in January, and I wanted to let you know that it was super helpful. She said it was around not getting caught up in thoughts and feelings and just staying focused on everything as unfolding perfectly. Keeping absolute trust in my desires and seeing every outcome unfolding and leading me to it. This was probably the gist of what we talked about, right? In other words, I am reality. That was the conversation. She's demonstrating another masterclass, just like this other one. Also in a job that she wasn't fired up about, didn't like very much. Because you're not your changing thoughts and feelings, or what we refer to as emotions. Right? Remember, emotion, pure emotion is source energy. It's your essence. It's who you are. It's the energy of source. Emotions are those changing thoughts and feelings based on your changing assumptions of who you are. They mean nothing unless you allow them to, right? Unless you identify with them as who you are. You can decide what it all means to you. So the circumstances mean nothing, such as the job that she wasn't enjoying. They mean nothing. She decided, I'm not going to get so caught up in those changing circumstances, those changing thoughts and feelings. They don't matter unless you say so. That's when Bashar and all the other spiritual greats talk about this idea that circumstances don't matter, state of being does. In other words, Who are you? What's your assumption about yourself, your life, who you are, and what you want as fulfillment? Right? Who are you as fulfillment, as source? Right? This is powerful. How are you? Remember, it's not to find fulfillment in the desires. It's to express the fulfillment that you already are with your desires, with these things that you want and desire in your life. It's just to express the fulfillment that you already are. Your state of being or assumption of who you are is all that matters. This was another masterclass. This is what she said. This will blow you away. Well, in the past year, things unfolded such that, remember we talked back in January, I left the job I wasn't enjoying. Ended up recording a full-length album with Grammy-winning people on my team. Having all kinds of wonderful relationships blooming and unfolding. Moving to a new house where I had been wanting to go. That unfolded in a totally illogical but beautiful way. My trust deepens every day, and this is a fun ride. Wow. Following her passion, absolutely it unfolding from within her. So I want to talk about all of this today and more. Remember, this question, is there any proof of this stuff works? Real evidence. Right, I think one of you were asking. Real evidence of so-called miraculous manifestations. Yes. And you are it. You're the evidence. In both of those cases, these creators that we're talking about today, they decided that they're not going to wait for proof or evidence from out there. They're not going to look to their changing circumstances and their changing thoughts and feelings as proof of evidence of anything. They decided that I am that identity. I am that reality. I am going to be that now, and it unfolds from within you. One in 24 hours, the other throughout the year. Powerful. That's why Jesus said remember when they were looking for Jesus, the Pharisees, right? When Judas handed him in, right? Jesus said, "Whom are you seeking?" And they said, "Jesus of Nazareth." And he said, "I am he." Or remember, he was added later. In the original Greek translation, it's just "I am." I am. I am. I am that reality. I am that version of me that I've always wanted to be. I am living my dream life. I am. Remember, you cannot find, manifest, create, or experience what you assume is not there. You're looking for proof that it works. You have an assumption there is no proof. There is no evidence. So you're looking out there and saying, "Show me." When you're the proof, your reality. Right? You cannot find what is lost. You cannot find what is missing. Remember, be who you assume and who you assume that you are not. You cannot find who you assume that you are not. You cannot be who you assume that you are not. That's why Jesus is asking, whom are you seeking? What are you looking for? Are you looking for fulfillment out there? Remember, the Pharisees in this case representing circumstances and changing conditions. What are you looking for? Are you out there looking in the conditions? Right? You cannot find or be who you assume you are not. I am he. Jesus, your I am awareness of being, asking the 3D world focused you, full of doubt and experiences non-fulfillment. Whom are you seeking? Wow. He was asking that to the Pharisees and these high-level priests that were looking for him. Right? Whom are you seeking? Are you seeking fulfillment out there? You're looking for proof out there. You're it. I am he. I am. Right? This is powerful. Remember, this is your I am awareness. This is between you and you. Right? Wow, this is powerful. The Pharisees and others of authority were said to fall to the ground when Jesus answered. When Jesus answered, I am he, or I am, which is the true translation, they fell to the ground. Yeah, I am's the only real and true power and authority. Those circumstances, those temporary circumstances of the 3D world are subject to the law or the Lord of I am, the law of being. They must fall away. They're subject to it. So you come, remember that you can picture the Pharisees at night coming with lanterns and torches and weapons, right, to capture your I am awareness, to capture Jesus. It's you coming with lanterns, torches, and weapons of doubt and fear and non-fulfillment, demanding proof and evidence. But your I am awareness will ask you again, whom are you seeking? Remember, Jesus asked the question twice. There they are, the Pharisees, in those 3D world conditions, with their lanterns, with their weapons, with their torches, right? Demanding to see proof of this Messiah, right? To see evidence of it. But Jesus asks again, whom are you seeking? I have told you. And then, of course, they say Jesus of Nazareth. Again, he goes, I have told you that I am, or I am he. Therefore, if you seek me, let these go their way. In other words, stop seeking proof and evidence that's not out there. Let those conditions go. Let those circumstances that are not proof or evidence of anything go. Let all that doubt and fear and focus on non-fulfillment go. You have found me. I am your awareness of being. I am the only reality. I am he. I am the proof and evidence. Wow. That's powerful. Remember, no amount of proof and evidence from out there will be sufficient or enough for you because it's not out there. There's no evidence out there because there's no out there. You're the evidence, so no amount. You can keep asking, but you keep creating this idea of seeking and never finding because you're it. You are the evidence and proof. You cannot and you don't get, and it doesn't come from. You don't get worthiness, fulfillment, and miraculous manifestations from out there. It doesn't come from out there. It doesn't come from others. It doesn't come from manifested conditions. It comes from within you. All the worthiness, the utter worthiness that you are, the utter fulfillment that you are, the utter miraculous miracles are all within you. Right? This is why, if you remember, Jesus is having a conversation with his disciples. And they're asking him about, well, show us the Father. Can you just show us the Father and that will be enough for us? Remember they say this, Lord, show us the Father. Show us our source. Show us that great unseen reality. Show us that great unseen substance and supply of utter worthiness and fulfillment and miraculous manifestations, and then it will be enough. Like one of you in the channel, show me the evidence. Show me the proof and that will be enough for me. Show me, but it's never enough. It's never sufficient because the evidence is not out there, right? Show us and it will be sufficient or enough for us in John 14:8. All that seeking, all that waiting, all that wanting turns into doubting, complaining, and criticizing others' reality in yourself for not seeing it, not having it. Do you see that? All that seeking, waiting, wanting turns into doubting, complaining, and criticizing. That life's not the way I want it to be. Where's the proof and evidence that any of this stuff works? You are it. I am he, as Jesus answered. Powerful. Like you're saying, Tom, can you just show me and explain it to me in simple terms how I can manifest my dream life, the success and love and freedom that two of these creators have demonstrated. One in 24 hours, the other over the year of that dream life. Now in recording with Grammy-winning team, right? Her recording, it's going to be out. And the other living her dream life of photography, travel photography and stories. Travel writer, I guess. Show me evidence and proof of this mysterious, unseen source of miracles once and for all. This is what you're saying. Well, you're it. There it is. You're the center of that unseen reality. You are all that is. Or in other words, you are all the evidence and proof, or lack thereof, there is, was, or will ever be. Wow. Or lack thereof. Right? As you keep looking for it, you create the experience of no evidence. That you feel like you're out here, right? You're out here as the little me looking for evidence. Do you see? You can't find it out there. It's not out there. It's you as the center. And Jesus answers the disciples who are doubting. Have I been with you so long, and yet you have not known me? Your I am awareness of being, who you really are. You're one with the Father. You're one with Source. It's that question, how do I align or connect with I am? That question comes up. You are I am. You don't connect or align with it. You are it. Right? You're always connected. You're always aligned. He who has seen me has seen the Father. Jesus says it. Who has seen me has seen the Father. You're the center of it all. How can you say, show us the Father? He's like incredulous. How can you say that? You are it. You're the center. Who has seen me has seen the Father. Remember, Jesus representing your I am awareness of being, representing you as the center, unique aspect or viewpoint or vantage point or essence of all that is, of Source, of the great I am. This is powerful today. And Jesus says, do you not believe that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? Wow. I love this. That you are in reality, Source, and reality or Source is in you. In other words, I am the proof. You are the proof. Wow. Your words, your assumptions, your story, your definitions of self and others or the world is your reality. In other words, your individualized, personalized, unique experiences, all that is reality. There is no other. There's no other evidence or proof but you. There's no other power and authority but you. The words that I speak to you, this is Jesus again, I do not speak on my own authority, but the Father who dwells in me does the works. It's not your own authority from that little me, that 3D physical perspective. It's you as the center of Source. You as the center of all that is. You one with it. Yes, Source is greater than you, greater than any possible perspective that you can have as a unique point of consciousness, but you're not separate from it. You're also at the same time one with it. You're not just an aspect or partly the power of God. You're all of the power of all that is. Right? Wow. The words that I speak to you, I do not speak on my own authority, but the Father who dwells in me does the works. You are the power and authority. There is no other. This whole discussion of show us the Father, and it is enough for us, as stated this story in Scripture, started with Jesus, your I am awareness, giving us the secret in process to manifesting the life of your dreams. Neville Goddard points to this in his teachings. This whole discussion of show us the Father and that will be enough for us, it started with Jesus talking about or giving you the secret of how to create your own reality. But remember, Jesus is your I am awareness of being. It's a metaphor for who you are. You are the process of creating your own reality. You are reality. Jesus says this, in my Father's house are many dwelling places. This is how that whole discussion started. In my Father's house, in other words, in Source, in reality, in all that is, there are many dwelling places. There are infinite realities or scripts or film rolls or frames or identities or versions of you that you can occupy, that you can call forth, that you can invoke. Do you see this? That you can experience. You exist in all of them. All of those dwelling places, all of those many or infinite dwelling places. You exist in all of them. But where are you going to dwell? Where are you going to live as that essence, as that Source? What are you going to experience, right? But where you dwell determines your entire life experience, past, present, and future, right? Jesus says this, if it were not so, I would have told you, if this were not so, that there are infinite realities, scripts, film rolls, identities, and versions of you, that you exist in all of them, and you get to choose where you're going to dwell or your physical experience of it. If it were not so, I would have told you. In other words, you wouldn't exist. This is powerful. You wouldn't exist as I am awareness. Right? Your identity as I am is the truth of reality. That's what Jesus is saying there. When you say the words I am, that's the truth. So if it were not so, I would have told you. In other words, you could imagine almost anything. You can even imagine, I've said many times, your physical death experience or your transition. But you can't imagine that you don't exist. You exist. If it were not so, you would know it. But you can't. You just know that you exist. In other words, you wouldn't exist as I am awareness. Non-existence doesn't exist. Right? You would know it. That's powerful. Your identity as I am is the only truth of reality. Jesus continues, I go and prepare a place for you. Now, I have unpacked this particular verse in earlier videos in many different ways, in the style of Neville Goddard and other ways. But I want to take it from this perspective today, from what we're talking about. I go to prepare a place for you. In other words, your self-concept, who you are, your beliefs or unbelief, or not believing that you are that person, your assumptions and definitions of yourself, your world and others, your dwelling place. That's the place you're preparing always, in every moment. You're preparing that place. So what kind of place, what kind of world are you preparing for yourself? One of unbelief and looking for proof out there, or are you the center of reality? And Jesus continues, if I go and prepare a place for you, and I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also. Wow. I will come, not go. I will come because he never left. He's already there with you. I will come again and receive you to myself. And this is you as you imagine the life and assume the life as you desire to be with your imagination, with your assumptions of this I am awareness. You merge with that life. You merge with that assumption. It's done now. You prepare the place that your awareness of being, you join in that physical experience, what you've imagined within, gets expressed outward, right, in your 3D. In my imagination, in my assumptions, in my concepts of self, that where I am, there you may be also. In other words, that's where where it manifests and unfolds as your physical experience. They're the same. And where I go, you know, oh yeah, and where I go, you know, and the way you know. Jesus says, you know the way. That's what he's saying to his disciples. And where I go, you know. You know, and the way you know. You already know. Why do you keep asking? You don't know. You know. I'll go and prepare a place in my imagination, in that assumption that I'm already that person I desire to be. Then you'll merge with that imaginal scene or that assumption of who you are. And then it must be expressed in your physical experience. Where I go, you know, and the way you know. I am the way, is what Jesus is saying here. So this is powerful. But you argue for your limitations, saying, I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know the way. Yeah. Give me evidence. Show me the way. How do I know that I am? How do I know? Even the question, how do I know I am? Right? This is what the disciples said. Lord, we do not know where we're going. How can we know the way? Jesus says, you know the way. We don't even know where we're going. How can we know the way? That's what we feel sometimes in our physical 3D experience. I get it. We feel separate from what we want. We feel limited. We feel like we don't know the way. We feel like reality's not moving, that nothing's happening. But you're the way. You know the way. You create, manifest, and experience a reality of not knowing when you say you don't know the way. Of looking for the way, out there in the circumstances, looking for proof and evidence of who you already are. There's no proof and evidence of who you already are out there. You're looking for the way to fulfillment into your dream life where it cannot be out there. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. That's how Jesus answers. No one comes to the Father, to that source, right? To the great I am, that reality, the substance, the source, the supply of everything you want, except through your awareness of already being that person that you desire to be, already living that dream life that you want to live. I love that they use comes here, meaning you are already there. You're already one with source. It's not go. No one goes to the Father, it's comes. No one comes to the Father because you're already one with the Father. Look at the verb tenses there, very powerful. If you had known me, you would have known my Father also. And from now on, you know him and have seen him. Wow. The absolute declaration. Now, from now on. This is like these two creators, right? From now on, I recognize myself as the only reality, as the truth, the life, and the way. And that changes everything, past, present, and future. Remember, who you're being now is the game changer. Who you decide you are now changes everything. You bend time and space and reality. It's timeless, that assumption. You change that horizontal linear past to make more time-space sense to who you're declaring yourself to be right now. You change that horizontal linear future to make time-space sense to who you're being now. That's why it unfolded in unusual ways for both of them. One over 24 hours, the other throughout the year. Both of those are powerful. Both have collapsed time and space, making the past and future irrelevant. Because the past and future for them are now. They're dwelling in their dream lives that continue to unfold. I love this. I manifested my dream life in 24 hours. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, The Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, and TikTok at Be Something Wonderful, or anywhere on social media at Tom Kearin or Be Something Wonderful. You can find us. And also for being part of our membership channel. Members, we're going to have a new live event scheduled for December. So stay tuned. I will have that soon, the day and the time for this next live event exclusively on the membership channel. And we just released a video about a week ago. Very powerful on the membership channel, and another one's going to be queued up very shortly. So creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios at Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.